Friends, the California Consumer Privacy Act is, I confirm, entirely useless. I've shown you earlier where I have done screen recordings of my filing of California Consumer Privacy Act data portability requests, violations. I showed you the screen recording where I filed the violation for ArtistWorks, where I had requested my data from ArtistWorks. I had proven that I had requested it, and that ArtistWorks had not acknowledged that legal request and had not complied with the law. And I did the same thing with Facebook. With Facebook, I even had a letter where Facebook replied to me stating that since it was a serious violation of their terms, that they were not going to comply with the law, as if their terms supersede the law. I filed two clear, separate CCPA data portability violations with the OAG, Office of the Attorney General, California. These are for companies that are both in California, and they both have a net revenue greater than $25 million annually. And Facebook did not acknowledge these requests. They did not acknowledge. What they did is they sent me a letter back, and they combined my two separate reports into one letter. Right? And the way the letter is not addressing each individually. It puts the name of the company that violated and the name of the second company that violated at the top of the letter. Facebook Inc., ArtistWorks Inc. Combine them both into one letter. It's a paper-saving endeavor here. It's green. It's for the planet. Yeah, they're also saving what little brain cells they have. They're not addressing the issue. So what they say is, thank you for contacting the Office of the Attorney General with your questions and concerns about the California Consumer Privacy Act. It's not what I did. I reported a violation. Under the CCPA, California consumers generally have the following rights. Generally. Right to know, right to delete, right to opt out, right for minors, and right to non-discrimination, which is essentially saying that if you request your data, they may not discriminate against you. If you complained about the business, we will forward your complaint to that business and request that it contact you promptly to resolve the issue you raised. Please note that we cannot represent you, advocate for you with the business, or force the business to satisfy individual requests for relief. Please contact the business directly to discuss your complaint. Okay, they violated the law. Facebook violated the law. They wrote me a letter that said, we're not going to comply with the law. And now the Office of the Attorney General is saying, you can file a complaint with a business. We'll tell the business that they should obey the law and they can contact you. And you can contact the business yourself. My friends, as I said, the California Consumer Privacy Act is completely toothless. It's window dressing. It does absolutely nothing for consumers. As you can see, I've spent hours of my time trying to work within this very cumbersome, inconvenient, consumer-hostile system that was ostensibly to protect consumers, but it is really to humiliate us and waste our time, insult our intelligence, waste our energy. Now, as I proposed previously, an Office of Internet Rights might do the job. It would require transparency. Where a complaint has been filed, that complaint would require the office to close the issue with the complainant. That would be me in this case. They would have to say, we followed up, we followed all of the procedures regarding this complaint, and now the complaint is closed. And if they have followed all of the procedure, and they have made the determination that the company has violated the law, which they won't even acknowledge Facebook as having done, then they will have to punish the company by fining them. And the onus will be on them. All the consumer will have to do is file a report, file a complaint. The office does the work. Right now, we have the opposite. The consumer files the complaint and does all the work. The Office of the Attorney General does absolutely nothing. Hey, you like Democrats? You like big business? You like your social justice? Keep voting Democrat. This is what you get. This is not a plug for any right-wing Republicans or anything of that matter. But the point is, these Democrats don't care about civil liberties at all. We could go further if an Office of Internet Rights, with an Office of Internet Rights, where we could have the office to make sure that the company was being consistent with their rules. Make sure that the rules were clearly defined, right? Clearly defined rules can have expected outcomes. Rules that are not clearly defined are only used in this day and age retroactively to find a reason to ban somebody. You had a thought, the company found out about it, people know about your whatever your idea, they report you, the company has an idea about, they're aware of your ideas, and they're going to find a reason in the community standards. And if they don't find a reason, they'll just say, you violated community standards, as they have done repeatedly on multiple companies have done to me. They just pick a reason, or sometimes they don't even pick one, and they use the general excuse, community guidelines, or community standards, or in some cases, terms. My friends, the California Consumer Privacy Act is totally useless. It's time to demand something better from your government. Now, you might go to the EFF or the ACLU. They don't care about your rights. As I've stated, the social justice activist at the ACLU, Haley Peterson, doesn't care. The social justice activist at the EFF, Haley Peterson of the EFF, and Danny O'Brien of the EFF don't care. Danny O'Brien of the EFF even is active in his cancel culture, blogging about how the Free Software Foundation's leader, President Richard Stallman, needs to be canceled because Richard Stallman had the audacity to say that Richard Stallman thinks it's absurd for a crime to be determined based on the ages of the participants and the state in which they reside. And that was regarding sexual activity. Voluntary sexual activity should not be determined to be a crime depending on the state that they live in and the ages of the participants. That shouldn't be, that's what his opinion is. That's what he said. Danny O'Brien thinks, well, we need to cancel these people. So they don't care. This is proof. They don't care about internet rights. They'll go so far as to cancel Richard Stallman. Means they're not going to uphold my rights. When I've said that the CCPA is toothless, when I've said that the OAG doesn't care, they're clapping their hands. They're happy about it. Oh, good. He's wasting his time. We don't want that speech online. We want things to be safe. Yeah. So if you care about rights and principles, as I do, if you care about freedom of thought, if you care about equality of treatment, equality of opportunity, as I do very much, then you should acknowledge that this law is totally useless and demand better from your government. Stop voting for these Democrats, do-nothing Democrats, to quote our former president, because they don't protect your rights. They don't care about your rights. All they care about is playing identity politics, pitting groups against each other. Thanks for watching.